we'll just start because I know you got to get back to work. All right.
All right.
We're off. This is a fun one. I'm sure people are going to be really excited for this because I don't know if you guys, I know you did the Lance interview.
Mm-hmm. That was it.
Yeah, and now this one.
Tips.
Oh, baby, Frosted Tips and Talkie Walkie. If you don't already know, I'm here with Greg Raposo, Matt Ballinger. Did I say that right? Ballinger? Ballinger. Sorry, my bad. Matt Ballinger. They are the band Dream Street.
Woohoo.
Yeah, you know them from their...
half
the band Dream
30%.
Street. Well, they're all we could get right now. But you're the, you guys are the ones.
DS2.
But you guys are the ones keeping the Dream Street brand alive,
Sure.
which we like. And you guys put out, people might not know that you guys put out a song very recently, Smile, last year. Mm-hmm. That's pretty exciting. And you guys are going on the Pop 2000 tour in Mexico, Pop 2000 in Paradise? Is it called Pop in Paradise? What is it called?
Yeah, the Pop 2000 tour, and then this one is Pop in Paradise.
Pop in Paradise, which I did,
baby.
Which I did last year, which was so fun.
Okay.
I had a blast. You guys are gonna. Oh my gosh, it was so fun.
Nice.
I mean, you're at an all-inclusive resort in Mexico. You're surrounded by people who have the exact same interests as you. They just want to hear some good music and some nostalgia hits, but also like some new stuff too. So you got a little bit of that. And just like hanging out with like people who kind of had not for me, but for you guys, very similar experiences, like growing up. Oh, excuse me. Hello. We are in Shake Shack right now here at Madison Square Park. It is a 90-degree day. So we're having fun. We're doing it.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk back. Let's rewind a little bit before we talk about the new stuff, because I'm sure people listening want to hear about the good old days, like how the band, like Greg and I talked about this on a podcast we did a couple years ago, but really how the band got together, the Dream Street Band. Matt, do you want to take this one?
Sure, yeah. So basically, a couple of producers had an idea where they wanted to basically build a boy band. It was actually originally like a Broadway show concept, and they auditioned everybody in the city that had been doing theater or just had agents, young, maybe I would say everybody from 12 to 15.
Okay.
And they kind of cut it down. It was kind of almost like a Making the Band a little bit. Where
All
they
right.
cut it down.
And this was what, 1999?
Yeah, I want to say 1999,
All right.
2000 area. And they kind of put together this group. Then they pitched this to a lot of Broadway producers. And it seemed like that concept didn't really go as planned. So they kept pitching us to record labels.
Uh-huh.
They brought in songwriters. And next thing you know, it was we got a record deal, and we were making music. And
so when did they ditch the idea of Dream Street being like a Broadway show?
It's a good question. I don't know. I feel like initially that was their big thing. They were trying to find triple threats, actors,
right,
singers, dancers, kids that kind of did everything,
uh-huh,
so that it would basically be like this Broadway show. That was the concept, and then it would also, if it was successful in New York, it would kind of blow up into, hey, now we're touring your city.
Got it.
Here we go. We're gonna take this show to your city. It's almost kind of this touring show instead of actually we're gonna be a pop group. So I think that was the concept. And then I think what ended up happening was just that, I think they were also pitching to record labels as well. I think it was kind of we have this band.
Yeah.
We need, and those days there were no social media.
Right.
In order to.
Thank God, am I right?
They had to really find, the people in power essentially.
Yeah.
That made those decisions. So I think they pitched us to a lot of people, and we were able to, secure a record deal and
wow,
and catch a break.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
I think just the success of the boy band moved so quickly.
Yeah.
That the Broadway show couldn't keep up with it.
Yeah.
And suddenly we found our, these kids who were auditioning to be in a Broadway show suddenly in an actual boy band.
Right. Now, was the Broadway show about kids in a boy band?
So it wasn't really, there was no lines. It wasn't we were it wasn't there was this Broadway show that okay, we had lines.
Right.
We're doing equity showcases.
Sure.
To promote it. It was more just here's a concept.
Ah.
What do you guys think?
So it was very, very early in the idea of making it a show.
It was
and
what
then
do
you
think?
guys maybe just clicked as as a group, right?
Right.
Do you remember the first time you guys met each other?
Yeah.
What that was like?
There was a big audition process, and then it got brought down to 8 guys.
Oh man!
And then it was, you know, almost like a making of the band sort
yeah,
of thing.
Of course.
And the 8 of us spent a couple weeks together, and then you had that last 5.
And how do they tell you that you're in the final group? Like,
well, yeah. The other thing is Greg was sort of like in the band already.
It's true.
That's true.
It's
I forgot
true.
about that.
I was kind of a implant.
Yeah, like he was kind of.
You were a shoo-in.
You and Chris were
Yeah,
kind of
so
already
Chris
in.
and I were already in the previous group lineup, and so we had worked all summer, the previous summer, and the band name was Boy Wonder.
Boy Wonder, that's right.
And there it was a lot more Broadway. We had a tap dance number.
Oh, sweet.
And we did a big showcase, and at the end of that showcase, there was a very similar critique, which was that they liked Chris and I, but wanted to recast the group.
Okay.
So just for the video content, they had us re-audition, and I don't think did they tell you guys we were a shoo-in? I don't.
What'd you say that you were?
Did you know that Chris and I were already in?
You know, I don't know if it was like communicated, but it was definitely like felt. If that makes any sense.
All right.
We were comfortable.
They just were slacking. Yeah, let's go with that. Let's take a right. Wow. So we are walking down Madison Avenue and 27th Street. Oh, it is a scorcher, but it's fun. I like it. It's like a little work day. You got people wearing suits. They got to be hot. Those dudes. That is wild.
But okay. Yeah, I would say like, you know, I think we felt it. You know, I don't know if it was like, hey, like I don't know if it was clearly like they're definitely in, but it definitely felt like they were going to be in.
Sure.
It's sort of like what I remember it as. So I feel like they were a little bit like I remember meeting Greg, like he was a little more confident. Like, you know,
he's got that.
He was like had that swag of like I'm
in.
So,
swag,
like,
yeah.
I think in him and Chris both had that. So I would say like it definitely felt like that.
Okay.
100%.
He's absurd.
And what is like? Was there ever a moment in the band where you guys were just like, oh my gosh, this is actually going to be way more than I thought it was going to be? Like, because you go into all these auditions, and I mean, you were an actor growing up, right, Matt?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
So you're growing, and you too, Gray. You did a ton of auditions growing up.
Yeah, we all were.
And you guys probably
the audition was from our agents. It wasn't like we saw an ad.
Yeah, you were like legit working.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, that just must be so odd that you go on this audition and now you're just in a boy band.
Yeah.
Like, was there like ever like a realization, like, oh my gosh, I'm in a boy band now? And because it wasn't like you set out to be in a boy band.
Correct.
You know, like it just kind of, you just like happened to go to an audition and it slowly morphed into, now you're in a boy band. That's wild.
Yeah, I mean, we had been in Broadway shows.
Yeah.
So we were experienced in that. Me personally, I was playing guitar and I had my own like garage bands.
Oh, wow.
So being in a boy band was pretty far from my real dream. But then it kind of all came into being.
Yeah.
And I guess I realized, like, shit, I really am meant for this life.
Yeah. Yeah, man. That's crazy. Now, you never wanted to be in a boy band, but were you, like, stoked about it once you found out that's what the thing was?
Yeah. 100%. I mean, there was one moment specifically that we were doing a showcase and filming a music video. And they actually had, it was all our friends and our cousins in the crowd. And everyone was getting paid in pizza. So by no means was it a real experience. But it felt real. And we did our first number and everybody just screams.
Oh, wow.
And that was, you know, when you come up doing Broadway, that's not the experience. It's,
no, of course not.
Like, if you're lucky if you get a standing ovation.
Yeah, yeah.
So I remember that first experience with a screaming crowd and just like all the hairs on my arms sticking up and being like, okay. And that for me was the turning point where it's like, yeah,
you're all in.
This is where I want to be.
Yeah. That's great. Now, how did you guys like fit as a group together? You guys all friends? Was there any jealousy of people getting more leads or people getting more fans than the other person? Or were you all just kind of like, this is a team, we're a group, we're no one without everyone else?
Yeah. Well, I feel like, you know, one thing I'll say is like the producers, you know, did try to do, I mean, there's only so much you can manage, right? There's some people getting more solos than others. Yeah. But I will say that, like, I feel like the producers did try to do a good job of, like, highlighting people's skill sets. For example, like we're probably the only boy band where like each kid had their own like solo song to kind of like, you know, just emphasize their talents or just kind of showcase them as
because it's not like those like bands you hear about that can't sing or dance and they're lip syncing. Like you guys were the real deal. Like you guys could all sing, act, and dance.
Yeah, so it wasn't like
dancing quotations, but
all right. Well, you know, it's not easy to sing and dance at the same time. But yeah,
we were
unlike
learning.
NSYNC, where you have Justin and JC as the two lead guys.
Yeah,
we really were meant to all be like equal parts.
Yeah.
Naturally, girls will gravitate towards their favorite member.
Yeah.
So there is like a natural competitiveness that
100%.
happens.
Sure.
But it was all like in a healthy way. Like I don't think any of us were like upset. Like Chris was probably the most popular.
Yeah, he was the most popular,
And, you know, it never made me like angry at him that girls would scream louder for him.
Yeah.
Right.
But it definitely, you know, my shirt came off my shoulder a little more.
Yeah. I remember you'd have a button down and be, you're showing some skin.
Things would happen, you know?
That's so funny. Do you guys have any, inside jokes that you do or any pranks you play on each other during shows?
We had pranks that went on with other bands that we were touring with.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, specifically off the top of my head, we had a back and forth pranks with Aaron when we were touring with him.
Yeah, we did like, what do we do, like stink bombs in his dressing room?
Oh, man.
Yeah, there was all kinds.
Yeah,
we did
just like silly stuff,
things.
you know. Like,
That's fun. That's harmless.
Nothing like crazy.
I think he threw like
orange
fruit across the stage while we were performing. Like just oranges were like rolling by. Weird, you know, little kid shit.
Yeah.
Is there anything like you look back at when Dream Street was in its heyday and you think that was like the peak moment for the band?
Probably opening for Britney.
I was going to say the same thing.
I would absolutely.
You know, we were backstage warming up.
Yeah.
And we get a knock on the door. And we're like thinking it's our parents bothering us, and we're yelling like, "We're not done! Like we'll be done in a minute!" And they keeps knocking. So finally, I think it was even me, answered the door like aggressively, and it was Justin Timberlake. And you know, we were like, "Oh shit!" I mean, at the time, NSYNC was
huge.
It was huge. It was number one. Britney was number one.
Wow.
You know, they were dating. And it was cool. I mean, he was. He was super
What did
chill.
he say? He was just like wanted to hang out?
He was the nicest guy, and he was kind of gave us advice. He's like, he was like, listen, like, do this because you love it. Like, you know, like make sure you're with people that like you're happy. You know, he was kind of just giving advice that like, you know, kind of be yourself and really enjoy the moment. So.
Oh, that's great. That's good advice.
Yeah, and he kind of hung with us. It was.
That's cool.
Like he was just like,
I mean, honestly,
hey, high five, lead. Like he did kind of like chill in our dressing room and stuff. So it was, I'd say like, you know, top 10. He was
That's
great.
really cool.
I think
totally cool.
At that point, we were on our way up, and NSYNC and Backstreet were both on their way out.
Oh, okay.
I feel like he had a sense of that, and I don't know. I almost felt like there was a metaphorical passing of the torch in that moment.
He also, I think he went solo right after
That's
that.
What
maybe.
I'm saying.
Oh, really? So this is like 2002, 2003?
Yeah, this was right at the end. I mean, we were literally mid-explosion.
Wow.
And
you're playing arenas with Britney,
at
right?
that point, was that our first arena?
No, we'd done an arena tour with Aaron Carter.
Okay.
Because all those shows on the tour were arenas, like the Detroit, like Palace at Auburn Hills.
It's crazy to me, Greg, that you don't remember playing an arena.
I know.
You know, like was that an arena show?
Really
I guess it was.
I
know, but if I played I have played actually 2 arenas.
Oh.
As part, not just not me obviously, but with other people, and I'll never forget those.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, I have very vivid memories of like doing my 2 dream arenas.
Which
but
were
that was actually
did you do MSG?
Own. No, that's my 3rd.
Okay, which are the 2?
I got 2 out of 3, which was Nassau Coliseum and Jones Beach.
Oh, of course. Well, you're a New York guy, yeah.
That's right.
Those are my 3.
Jones Beach was up there for me too.
So I still got 1 to check off.
MSG, baby.
That's why we're working on the reunion.
Yeah. Let's go. I could see you guys at like a jingle ball or something. That'd be fun.
You never know.
You never know.
All right, so the band dispersed because there was like some like your parents sued Lou or something. Like there was like a Wasn't there some kind of lawsuit?
I think everybody would give you a different story.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah, it's a long.
In my opinion, I think it had a lot to do with new producers, new management that maybe had their eyes on the prize.
Okay.
And they kind of started feeding the parent information on, the producers, and it just turned into this big mess.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I never read a word of a contract. I never sat in a business meeting.
Right.
It was so far from our involvement.
Yeah, you just wanted to hang out with your friends, right, and sing and dance.
Yeah, we weren't even trying to make money at that point. We're kids. We're just chilling and having fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, really nobody won, so it wasn't.
Right.
It just kind of
so it was like,
even if everyone has, let's say there are valid differences on both sides, right? For the production, parents, other people, it doesn't. At the end of the day, just no one could really come together.
Yeah.
And no one could, kind of resolve
I think
everything.
everybody lost.
And everybody
at the
lost.
end of
So
the day.
that's kind of what's interesting, is that
well, I will say, you might think you guys lost, but really, you put out some great music. You made a lot of fans. You made a lot of people happy. So you could say you won in that respect.
That's true.
But in the lawsuit, I get what you're saying.
From a lawsuit perspective.
From a lawsuit perspective,
To
it
be
kind of
honest
sucks.
with you, at that point in time, while I'm riding high, I was writing my own music. I started recording my own music, playing with band members. I was kind of excited because I was like,
next chapter,
I created this stepping stone. I have a bit of a base to take with me, and now I get to really pursue what I've always really wanted to do. And Nassau Coliseum and Jones Beach, that was as a solo artist.
Wow.
That wasn't with Dream Street.
Dang.
We did that. Oh, right, because we did it, the three of us.
You did it, the three of you,
yeah,
exactly.
That's right.
Wait, what
I was on
happened?
my
What
own.
happened then? So the band breaks up, you're doing solo stuff, and the three of you are doing Dream Street stuff
Yeah,
still?
I went solo,
We did-
Jesse went solo.
No, it was Frankie, Jesse, and I. Frankie, Jesse,
Oh, then the
and-
three of
and
you
I.
did
We
a
did
trio.
We did a Jones Beach show, and we did the Nassau Coliseum show.
As Dream Street.
No,
Not Dream Street, as a totally
as a
Matt,
trio,
Jesse,
I was a
Frankie.
solo artist.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
Yeah, it was so we did a couple shows. We recorded maybe 2 songs, but
Whoa, are these songs released anywhere?
No.
Whoa.
But there was a lot of complications, I think, with a lawsuit. I don't know. There was a lot of things going on.
Wow,
so,
I had no idea about that.
but it was only 2 shows, so.
Sweet.
And it never. So it was a lot of different things happened, I'd say.
Well, that's cool. I mean, you're playing some big venues, though.
It was cool though. It was great. Yeah.
And then, so you started, Greg, doing solo stuff. I remember seeing you at a Milwaukee show of yours. I think you were headlining for a Disney radio show.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think who else was on the lineup.
Probably a Stevie Brock.
Yep, definitely Stevie
Or,
Brock was there. I want to
Jump
say
5,
Jump 5
maybe.
probably. There was this one girl, J.Me. J''ME. Do you remember
Nope.
her? No. I don't know if she was on that show or not.
JoJo used to do that.
JoJo, sure.
She's
Who
gotten
else?
big again. It looks like.
Yeah, she's kind of having a what do you call it?
Resurgence.
Resurgence. That's it.
Yeah.
I was gonna say reinsurance or something. I shouldn't be able to speak. I shouldn't be allowed to speak. Okay, so then you're doing your own solo stuff, and are you guys friends still? Hanging
Yeah.
keeping in
100%.
touch and stuff.
We never
and,
had any
I
problems.
feel like we would hang out a lot still. We would go to your house. So I don't know.
yeah,
I definitely don't feel like we lost touch.
That's
really.
great. That's
Right?
good to
Would you
hear.
say? I don't know.
I mean, at this point, we're all. When did we go to college? No, that was a few years later.
2000.
Right?
I'm 39.
Well, it was 2 years later.
Yeah, same.
It was
Same- we're all
it was
same age.
probably-
Yeah.
It was the year, and I think you kept doing solo stuff kind of thing. I remember I went to college. I feel like you, and so I don't know. I want to say it was 2003 is when I went to college.
Yeah,
So.
I took a year off. Otherwise, I would have gone in 2003 as well.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, high school. I needed a break. Whew. It's tough.
It's crazy, man. This is decades ago already.
I know. It seems like just yesterday, though. That's the thing. I'll be 40 next year. That's crazy to me. I don't.
Wow.
I feel like I should. Yeah, I'll be turning 27. Really, I don't feel any different than I did.
Matt and I were talking about making our next album and titling it "Not 40 Yet."
I love it. You should definitely do that.
Yeah, we're thinking about it.
So, Matt, when the trio broke up, right? When you guys were trying to
Yeah.
start a new thing, Did you do any solo stuff, or did you go to school and try to be a normal kid?
I went to college and did like normal stuff.
Then this might be nice and shaded.
Yeah. So yeah, I did like normal stuff. I was like, I went to Tufts in Boston.
Oh, cool.
I was like trying to make the lacrosse team.
Oh,
just
wow.
being, like a normal.
And did people recognize you from the band?
Some people in the college knew, but you know, again, I feel like, you know, the older kids didn't really know, but it kind of got around. Once like one or two people know about it, like obviously, you know, you're at a frat party or things like that.
Sure.
People know about it. But then I started my own band in college called The Juice, which was really fun. So we played like in Boston a lot.
Oh, sweet.
And we played frat parties, and we even played with Greg in like Pennsylvania. I remember we did a show together, which was really fun.
That's sweet.
We had a really fun night. I remember that in Bethlehem, right? Was it? Yeah, I think it was Bethlehem. It was cool. It was like this outdoor
amphitheater. At that point, Jesse was solo as well. I was doing shows with him.
And he was opening for you, right, at that point?
In the beginning, yeah.
That's awesome. That's so cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, man. I had the Jonas Brothers had opened for me before they blew up. I remember what was the band? Was it some other big rock band? They went on to get big. But yeah, I've had a few up and comers as opening acts, and then they just skyrocketed. So
I remember seeing Big Sean in like 2008 at this bar in New York. Just, you know, like 30 people were there. And I was such a big fan. I was like, why aren't there more people here?
Yeah.
But it's just fun to see. It's kind of cool to see the trajectory of a career in the entertainment business, because it's not always a straight shot up.
Yeah, it's not linear. You really never know.
You go. That's why you got to stay humble, because you never know when
when it drops, when it
rises, exactly. Just enjoy the journey. I'm like, my dad always said that to me as a kid. Just enjoy the journey, you know. And I always kind of made fun of him for that. But now I'm fine. I am finding myself just enjoying enjoying whatever happens.
100%.
Of course, I have goals, and I have like you too, like aspirations, and I want to, I got a family to provide for, but I also just want to, it's fun to see what happens, see how far you can take this thing.
For sure.
So now you guys are, I know, Greg, we've talked about this, trying to get the four of you guys back together for something, right? And
it really would depend on the opportunity, to be honest.
Right.
I mean, nothing's off the table, but it would have to be a really big opportunity if four of us were going to be involved, and being able to be more flexible, being both on the East Coast. Jesse's obviously in another level. He's out there in the West Coast, so there's complications there.
Sure.
And I don't know if he'd really want to, being that he's done so well on his own. But again, I mean, it has come up, and it's not like he's been like, no.
Well, did he work on that single, the Smile single, with you guys?
He didn't do the Smile single, but when we did an acoustic version of our old single, It Happens Every Time.
Right.
That was when Chris had just passed away.
Right.
And to be honest, like, I didn't even ask twice. I didn't even really ask. I just kind of said, listen, this is something that I really want to do. It feels important to me. And it was, without even asking, that each one of these guys was like, tell me what you need.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And then did you mix the song? Everyone kind of, because it was during COVID, so everyone kind of sang their song, the part from like your studio at home or wherever, right?
I mean, Matt used his iPhone.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just recorded on my iPhone.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Man, 2024 is crazy, huh?
I know.
Technology. It's wild.
But,
man, that was really sad to hear about Chris passing too. I remember, I think I've told you this, Greg, but I was walking in Chelsea with a buddy once in 2004, 2005, and I see Chris, Trousdale, and Lou, right? The guy's name was Lou, you guys worked with?
Yep.
They were together, and I think he might have come out of like a dance studio or something. He looked like maybe he was wearing workout clothes or something. And I was like, oh, hey, what's up, man? And he was like, oh, hi. I was like, oh, sorry, you don't know me. I'm just like, I like Dream Street's pretty awesome. And he was like, oh, cool, thanks. And then he's like, hey, take down my number. I'm like, oh, all right. So I took his number down. We like texted and we never hung out, but like he was always very sweet.
Yeah, he was a good guy.
I mean, I feel like Chris had the most Dream Street pride of anyone.
Oh, yeah?
I was, like I said earlier, kind of more of a rock band kind of dude. Matt was always really into his sports, and Chris was born a dancer, and he was born a pop star. I mean, he really, we kind of all followed in his footsteps. You know, he would be the front and center dancer, and we were all watching him to make sure we got our steps right.
Right. Interesting you say that you were more of like a rock star. Like, yeah, I know what you mean. Like, you're more rock influenced, the music you like and the music you wanted to perform. Was there ever a time where you were like embarrassed to have been in the band, or like you wanted to be like the bad boy, you know, in the group? Was there ever a time where you're just like, oh no, I don't do pop music, man, I do rock and roll, baby?
Not really, honestly.
We were so young too.
Yeah, we were so little. Right. I mean, I still, like, I always, you know, was self-described as a pop rock guy.
Yeah.
So the pop wasn't out of my being,
or
out of my identity.
Yeah.
But, you know, I got to be the edgier guy in the group.
Yeah.
So, no, and that was cool that the producers really allowed us each to, you know,
take on their like certain personality.
Yeah, you know, be themselves.
You were like the jock of the group, Matt?
I would wear like a different sports shirt. Wherever I went to, I'd wear like a sports jersey. So
right.
like in Michigan, I had like a Wolverine
Oh, you
jersey.
just pander to the crowd.
Like San Francisco, I remember I was like, had an Oakland Raiders jersey. Like,
yeah.
like that, you know?
Yeah.
Just kind of to that. Or like a Niners. Like just everywhere we went, I would make sure to get a jersey. So
yeah.
And it was fun. I like kind of displaying that. And it was cool.
Yeah.
It was a fun time.
I love that. I love how every band member has their own unique style, personality. I think you can see that in like pretty much every band, boy band, from the beginning of time. Yep. You know. All right, so 2024, the year of our Lord. We are Dream Street has dates on the calendar. That's exciting, right?
Yeah,
I mean, are you calling it Dream Street, or are you just calling it like Matt and Greg from Dream Street?
Yeah.
So they, you know, we didn't want to like have you know, anybody be confused about it. So we do make sure it says Matt and Greg from Dream Street. You know, Matt and I have actually been writing some new material together.
Whoa! That's exciting.
Yeah, and it's been a lot of fun, and
definitely
we're both kind of like kicking ourselves that it took us so long to even give it a shot.
Yeah.
Because it was like just super easy, and
it was fun.
And chemistry was great. So we've discussed if we would maybe rebrand. We were thinking maybe DS2.
Oh, I like DS2.
Yeah, we're thinking about we're
DS2. That's fun to chant.
Kicking things around, but I like that. Yeah.
DS2 sounds cool.
Yeah, I mean, at least at that point, it kind of keeps it open, where it could be DS as the two of us.
Yeah.
Or if Frankie and Matt, you know, if the right opportunity comes up that they want to be involved with us, it's just, you know, DS second.
Right. It's like
second generation,
2.0.
like the sequel.
Exactly.
Right.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You're like Dream Street Plus.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, gotta.
But we'll see. That's unofficial.
All right. All right.
Off the record.
All right. No one go make T-shirts yet. And so Matt, you have kids, right?
Yeah, I got two kids.
Two kids, and what do they think about your previous life?
I feel like that's, you know, they're really starting to love Dream Street. They like the songs and everything.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's a big reason. I mean, one of the reasons kind of like it's brought me back into the music, just listening to it again. I think Greg can probably say the same thing, you know.
Yeah.
That it kind of like has pushed me back into it a little bit more. And
yeah.
I think, you know, I think it'd be really cool to just have our kids see us play a show, whatever, in what capacity, but
sure.
So we can like bring some of these songs back to life.
Yes.
I think it'd be really cool.
I think so too. I think that'd be awesome. Because you see, like, you know, O-Town's back together doing it.
Very cool.
Backstreet Boys celebrating 30 years, right?
Yeah.
30. You got rumors of NSYNC gonna do a tour next year if Justin can lay off the sauce. You know, we got.
Right.
I think it's honestly all of that really brought Matt and I into this, like, there's an opportunity here, clearly. And when you have Justin Timberlake, you know, joining his old group members, it just feels that much more possible.
Yeah.
That maybe we could get Jesse to do
yeah,
with
I
us.
think so. I mean, never say never, right?
Right.
You know?
The wise Justin Bieber once said.
Right. Right.
Exactly. It's a good documentary. But yeah.
That's a good doc. I like watching his documentaries. But that's just so. I mean, it's so exciting. Anything could happen.
Yeah.
You know, you guys are down.
100%.
You know, still young. Still a lot of time left. Right?
Awesome, man. Well, yeah.
All right, where can people find you guys?
Are
you posting your dates anywhere?
We did make a Dream Street official Instagram.
Yep.
Awesome.
We literally just created it. It's not even verified. So here's your verification.
There we go.
It's us.
All right, it's at Dream Street Official.
Dream Street _ official? Or?
Honestly, it's kind of a shame that there wasn't social media.
I know.
Because if there was, we probably would have a bit more of a, database and
built-in following.
For
but I think the more interviews you do, the more people hear about you guys getting back together. This will reach a certain amount of people who may not even be familiar with Dream Street, and they'll look you guys up and be like, oh yeah, hey, I do remember that. I do remember those guys. You never know.
The tricky part, I think, is, I've got 4 kids.
Oh yeah.
And multiple jobs.
That you know of.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But we have to also be realistic on what our schedules would allow.
Right.
So at the end of the day, a lot of this really does have to do with being a passion project.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to Mexico because it's a free vacation.
Right.
At an all-inclusive resort.
Hey.
Boys trip, maybe. We don't know yet.
Yeah. Oh, really? You might leave the wives at home, hey?
Figuring that out. We got all the kids.
I will say, I had a great time in Mexico, but there were these little monkeys running around the resort that were like half monkeys, half raccoons. They're called coatis, I think. And they would break into my room and go through all my food.
Oh, shit.
And I'd be in the room while they were doing it. I'm like, what are we doing, guys? So just be on the lookout for those guys.
Can you fight them?
I didn't want to, man. I was terrified. They're like, they didn't care. They weren't scared of me. So what am I going to do? I'm not a fighter, and I definitely don't want my first fight to be with a monkey in Mexico.
Right. Bad idea.
Yeah, and like Greg said, jobs, kids, responsibilities. But again, I think we're just having fun.
Yeah.
Just playing music together, and we're kind of just seeing what happens.
I love it.
Yeah.
You never know where the journey takes
as a fan of your band, I am excited for what's going to happen. I'm excited you guys are doing new stuff. I loved your solo stuff, your country album, your rock and roll album. Matt, I'm excited that you're back with Greg. This is going to be exciting. This is it, guys.
Yeah,
look at that.
Let's
go. Dream Street.
There it is.
Here we go. What are we doing? So I'm going to edit that out for sure. All right, Talkie Walkie, we did it.
All right, cool.
Look at Matt, Greg, thank you guys.
Thanks, man.
Thank you guys. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and or watch another one. Watch another video. Could be fun. I don't know. Could be cool. You're already this far. You're